You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer gets 24/7 fast-friendly claim support.
Could I get a picture?
Yeah, it's not like you run into animal celebrities every day.
Stop.
I'm walking through the night, I'm talking to myself, I'm paralyzed by fear, I'm worried about my mental health. The cage is open wide, the damage has been done. They told us we were fine, and now I can't trust anyone. I hear a noise. Is it human? Is it scum? Don't get bitten by the wrong one. I don't wanna bleed before I'm dying. I don't wanna see the dead man rising. I scream at the top of my lungs. Don't get bitten by the wrong one. I don't want myself be torn to pieces. I don't wanna change my inner species. Watch out for the freaks that they come. Don't get bitten by the wrong ones. I don't know where to go, but I keep moving on. The town I leave behind, most people are dead but not gone. Enough for me to be terrified and run. Don't get bitten by the wrong ones. I don't wanna bleed before I'm dying. I don't wanna see the dead man rising. I scream at the top of my lungs. Don't get bitten by the wrong ones. I don't want myself be torn to pieces. I don't wanna change my inner species. Watch out for the freaks that they come. Don't get bitten by the wrong ones. You came to me, you got bitten by the wrong one. I don't wanna bleed before I'm dying. I don't wanna see the dead man rising. I scream at the top of my lungs. Don't get bitten by the wrong one. I don't want myself be torn to pieces. I don't wanna change my inner species. Watch out for the freaks that they come. Don't get bitten by the wrong ones. to share your life the rest of your days. That sound tempting to.
For over 40 years.
Hush, little baby, don't be sad. This is the tale of the living dead. I'm gonna make it a lullaby. Don't be scared, no, the dead don't die. Hush, little angel, close
stream, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. And we have a video reaction 2 hours ago. Let's get into it.
Game that's been all the rage is firing back tonight after our state sued them and claims they're a superhighway for child predators. Attorney General Liz Murrill says the makers of Roblox haven't done enough to stop it. Louisiana First News reporter Ethan Good joining us now live in the studio. So, Ethan, exactly how is Roblox responding to all this?
Well, Andre, the people behind Roblox are rejecting Attorney General Liz Murrill's claim that they're putting children at risk. In a statement, Roblox said any assertion that Roblox would intentionally put users at risk of exploitation is simply untrue. The company went on to say, we dedicate substantial resources to help detect and prevent inappropriate content and behavior. This all
Heard some BS. 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 I just heard some BBS. That is a bunch of BBS.
all started yesterday when Attorney General Liz Murrill announced a crackdown on the online exploitation against minors, and she called out Roblox, accusing the game of creating an environment when predators can thrive. She also claimed that parents were not notified of the dangers of this game.
Roblox knowingly and intentionally fails to provide notice to parents and child users of its extreme dangers. And it created, curated, and perpetuated an online environment where child sex predators thrive, unite, hunt, and victimize kids.
Now, Murrill pointed to a report that more than 3,300 members of the Roblox community are openly trading child pornography and successfully finding victims on the site. Roblox has about 82 million users worldwide, and about 36% of them are younger than 17. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Ethan Good, Louisiana First News.
All right, Ethan, thanks so much for that. The sheriff of Livingston Parish.
Meanwhile, the Black Ants had no idea that they were
Yeah.
getting their way. The very next morning, a alarm jolted them awake. When they peeked out to see what was happening, they were horrified to find a swarm of red ants marching straight toward them. In no time, the Red Army surrounded the Black Ant Kingdom, and they came armed with all kinds of weapons, clearly intending to wipe the Black Ants off the map. With a single command from the Red Ant General, the attack began.
14 hours ago. Right here.
The game Roblox under fire. A new lawsuit says a 10-year-old girl from Oakland County was targeted by a child predator on the platform, leading to disturbing messages and grooming. That lawsuit claims Roblox didn't do enough to protect kids. Filed in California by Dolman Law Group, lawyers are calling the game a breeding ground for predators, and they also say the company did not do enough to protect kids. Thanks for being with us at 11. I'm Ty Steele. Roblox has about 380 million monthly users, and many of them are, of course, kids. But the problem is you can't really tell who's behind those virtual characters or what their intentions are. Victor Williams talked to the lawyers behind the lawsuit, and Victor, they say Roblox puts profits before the safety of kids.
That's exactly what they're saying, Ty. And really, this game is highly popular among the children. It's also very popular among adults, and that's the reason right there that some are saying that something needs to change.
This is a haven. This is a playground for sexual predators.
Matthew Dolman with Dolman Law Group speaking on his newly filed lawsuit against Roblox, claiming the game enabled a 10-year-old girl out of Oakland County to be sexploited by a predator that she met on the app.
They knew for years, documented arrests, not just law enforcement investigations, not anecdotal information, actual documented arrests of perpetrators crossing state lines to meet up with children that they met on the Roblox gaming platform that they groomed.
For that reason, Joe Cuto won't let his son anywhere near the game.
My son plays Roblox for me, and I had to stop him because of the simple fact it was brought to my attention that people on there honestly are posing as kids.
After multiple instances of kids being targeted all across the country, lawsuits against the company have been coming left and right.
We so far have filed 5 lawsuits from our law firm. Anna Paul Weiss, they filed so far, I think, 7 or 8 of them.
Age verification wasn't implemented for the app until about 3 weeks ago, but Roblox itself says they're taking measures to make the app safer. They sent Local 4 over the following statement, which reads, quote, "We dedicate substantial resources, including advanced technology and 24/7 human moderation, to help detect and prevent inappropriate content. While no system is perfect, Roblox has implemented rigorous safeguards, including restrictions on sharing personal information, links, and user-to-user image sharing, and prohibiting sexual conversations."
They've lied repeatedly. Do I know if it's safer? No. But it doesn't make a difference for all the harm that's been done for all these children who've been victimized.
They need to shut it down because regardless of either way it goes, they're going to figure out some type of way to figure it out to either exploit people. If they just shut it down, you wouldn't have that problem.
Now, Louisiana's Attorney General is also jumping on the lawsuit train, filing one lawsuit of her own against the company Roblox. It just goes to show you the seriousness of this matter. Live tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, Victor, thank you. And if you have kids who spend time online, that story probably hits close to home for you. So here are some tips to keep them safe while they're playing online. First of all, sit with them when they first log on. That way you can see which games they like and then guide them through if needed. Second, talk to them about how to spot and deal with strangers or adults who might try to contact them. And third, keep the lines of communication open. Make sure they feel comfortable talking to you about what they're doing online. For more resources, go to clickondetroit.com.
This is just getting worse. Man, oh man.
Turning now to a popular game for kids and teens at the center of a lawsuit.
Roblox is accused of being a safe haven for child predators. An Oakland County mother alleging the platform is responsible for the sexual exploitation of her 10-year-old daughter.
7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham spoke with the attorney representing her and parents about the popular game and the risks.
This lawsuit filed against Roblox claims that there are a lack of restrictions, a lack of safety protocols, and a lack of age verification measures that cause problems for kids just trying to have fun online.
It's horrific and scary about how many victims there are out there.
Attorney Matthew Dolman represents a family from Oakland County that claims in this 82-page lawsuit, the online gaming app Roblox allowed a young girl to be sexually exploited.
So what you have is, in this case, an 8-year-old who's playing online and thinks close behind the anonymity of an online figure, it's another 8-year-old or another child close to their age, and realize this is a grown man.
He says the man built an emotional connection, gained her trust, and sent her sexually explicit images, and then encouraged her to reciprocate. Dolman claims the company only cares about profit.
Their goal, their incentive was to have as many users on their platform as possible, which raised their valuation, which raised their stock price, and the returns to shareholders. When they could have put simple safety measures like just age verification, but that would have limited the amount of people on their platform.
We posed a question on our Channel 7 Facebook page, asking parents how they feel about their kids playing Roblox and what the rules are in their home. The responses vary, from parents who have no problem with Roblox at all with the proper oversight, to zero tolerance. Kevin Nackey was willing to talk with us on camera about his son's experience.
He came out and was like, "Oh, Dad, look, we're playing." I'm like, "Who are you playing with?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know. He's a guy on Roblox." And we just start. I'm like, I shut it down. I said, "No, we're not doing that."
Nackey says changes are needed, which is what Dolman says the lawsuit calls for.
Give out a specific code that a child can create just for his friends to join. That we can get on the phone with mom and dad of Joey or Alex at the school that he goes to and be like, "Hey, this is the code for him to play with his friends. Nobody else can get that code."
Our goal is to cripple this company if we can. And it's an $82 billion company, so that would be almost an impossible task. But so what do you do next? We try to force systemic change.
I reached out to Roblox Corporation for comment. They sent me a statement saying, quote, "We are deeply troubled by any incident that endangers our users, and safety is a top priority. We dedicate substantial resources, including advanced technology and 24/7 human moderation, to help detect and prevent inappropriate content and behavior, including attempts to direct users off platforms where safety standards and moderation may be less stringent than ours. While no system is perfect, Roblox has implemented rigorous safeguards, including restrictions on sharing personal information, links, and user-to-user image sharing, and prohibiting sexual conversations. We also partner with law enforcement and leading child safety organizations worldwide to combat the sexual exploitation of children.
I hear some massive BS right there. Is that some BS I am hearing? If so, and you hear it as well, 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 that's a bunch of BS. 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 That's a bunch of fucking BS. No idea. That's a bunch of BS. A bunch of BS.
End quote. Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
It's banned from flying the Union Jack.
Welcome back. It's 4:48. You're going to love this next story with me, Martin Daubney, here on GB News. Now, it's been reported that Birmingham City Council is removing Union Jacks and English flags across the St George from their streets. Now, they say the unauthorised attachment on lampposts across the city risks the safety of pedestrians and motorists. Well, does it? Let's find out now, because I'm joined by the Conservative councillor for Frankly Great Park, that is Simon Morrill. Simon, they're saying this is a matter of road safety. One of these flags might spontaneously fall down and blind a motorist and cause an accident. I smell a rat.
Well, they're claiming to us now that it's because Kia, the highways agency, are changing light bulbs in the middle of summer. But it's interesting, Martin, because there's a bit of a backstory to this, because this was going on for quite a while in Northfield. It was only when the flags came to Frankly, when I, as the elected councillor, just put a one-line sentence out saying, I approve this message, that the left-wing media in Birmingham decided to do a story on it, as if to try and say, why is a councillor backing it?
Do you want to save a boatload of cash this summer, wherever you have a trip planned? The one thing you're going to need is access to the internet and on the go. And you can do that easily with Saily. Hit the link in the description to get 15% off your first eSIM plan ready for your trip, so you can browse to your heart's content. Saily gets you a local SIM card you can use when traveling, so you don't have to pay those crazy roaming fees just to send a message or check the latest news. Now, they've got plans in over 160 countries, 8 regions, so pretty much everywhere, wherever you're going, they'll be able to make sure you're connected. So how does it work? All you've got to do is this. Hit the link in the description to download the app. It will work on iOS or Android. Buy a plan. You can choose an amount of data and time frame that suits you best. And then just install the eSIM on your phone. When you land at your holiday destination, you can activate your plan instantly. And if that wasn't enough, Saily eSIMs only ever have to be installed once. So when you go on your next trip, you just buy a plan for a new country, turn that eSIM back on, and boom, you're back watching me on GB News. I'll be using a Saily SIM on my next holiday because it's actually faster than some of the hotel Wi-Fis. You can get unlimited data if you want, so you can scroll away to your heart's content. And when you leave the hotel, you don't have to do that annoying thing of Wi-Fi hopping because you've got constant connectivity wherever you go. And they've got 24/7 support as well, and a full refund policy if your eSIM isn't compatible. So get sorted for your next trip. Download Saily using the link in the description below. And if you use the code NEWS at checkout, you'll get an exclusive 15% discount on us. So click the link, download Saily, and use the code NEWS at checkout.
One of those media organisations found a WhatsApp group that Labour councillors were members of. One of them was the cabinet member for community safety. And apparently, according to this journal, one member was claiming this to be, I quote, far-right astroturfing. And before my time in politics, before I got into politics, Martin, I used to work in media, and I can spot a good story. That's, in fact, you could say that's part of a job of being a politician, is to call stuff out like that. So I put that on my Facebook page, saying that they were basically calling us racist. You know, you say tomato, I say tomato. Far right basically means racist. And it absolutely blew up. The absolute outrage across the community, and quite rightly, actually, because I don't think the Union flag is in any way far right. It's a symbol against, and in particular when we have VG Day tomorrow as well. I mean, you couldn't time it any worse. So yeah, it's just completely blown up, and I fully support the people that are doing. I don't think they're far right in any way, and my constituents, especially the veterans, are absolutely not far right at all.
You know exactly right. And Simon Morrill, you know, Birmingham councils have had form. This has been going on for years, saying taking down particular flags. I'm assuming, Simon Morrill, that when a huge number of Palestinian flags went up across Birmingham a couple of years ago, there's no problemo.
I think they're still there, actually. If you go into inner cities of Birmingham, there were Palestinian flags all around the inner ring road, and people have quite rightly pointed that out. But the interesting thing is, I've offered the council an amnesty here, because the shadow cabinet member Jamie Tennant, behind the scenes, I haven't got anything personally against it, because my maiden speech in 2018 when I first joined the council was on male suicide. Birmingham didn't have a suicide prevention strategy before that. And when Jamie joined the council in 2022, his maiden speech also mentioned male suicide. And behind the scenes, we did want to do something. And as someone, Martin, who himself has had the media onslaught and knows how that can impact your mental health, I imagine he's getting a lot of stick at the moment. So I wrote a letter to the council and I included him in it. And I said, look, let's just offer an amnesty here. It's VG Day on Friday. Why don't we just do an amnesty to the end of August, keep the flags flying for VG Day, and at least the public have a solid end date so we know when the flags have got to come down.
What did they say?
I've had zero response. Instead, that was when they went to the local Birmingham Mail and said, oh, it's because of health and safety reasons that we need to remove it. It just writes itself. It's utterly disgraceful. And I mean, they've shot themselves in the foot there. And like I say, with VG Day tomorrow, the 80th anniversary, it's absolutely appalling, Martin.
Yeah, they should utterly hang their heads in shame. You're exactly right to point out the significance of that day, one that should forever be remembered, and to somehow sort of flim-flam and make out that one of these flags will spontaneously fly down and blind a motorist is an utter ludicrous and baseless fantasy. Tell me about the support, quickly if you could, amongst the local community. Presumably they're fully square behind you.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? People get their backs up about this. In particular, the veterans. In where I represent, frankly, we have a large veteran constituency, and I wanted to actually show you something before we go, because this year we actually Audrey, my stepnan, passed away, and I've got a photo of her here with Jack, her husband. She was 99 years of age, and Jack served in the war, so you know she would have loved seeing these Union flags, and so. To the members of this WhatsApp group accusing members of the public as far-right astroturfing, may I remind you that it's people like Jack who actually fought against the real far-right, right? And that Union flag that you are so opposed represents us defeating the far-right. And
Simon,
so to call an entire community that is appalling, frankly.
Simon Morrill, well put, and thank you very much for standing up for the flag and coming on the show today. Absolute pleasure, Simon Morrill. You take care. Thank you. Now, spokesman for Birmingham City Council said that it was not about removing specific flags, but about removing attachments for safety purposes.
Yep, it finally happened. They met. Trump and Putin shaking hands, discussing the fate of the world. And then an Alaskan absurdity arose. There are many dimensions to the story, though, so let's work our way through all of them, because this is just the beginning of a much longer peace process that will no doubt have further hiccups along the way. So sit down, enjoy some surprise bombers, a lunch that never came to pass, and a press conference contest to say the most words without saying anything at all. I should start with a disclaimer. As a general rule, what happens in these types of negotiations makes up only a tiny fraction of a state's overall bargaining power. What really matters are what forms the lines on maps. Think hard metal and big booms. The vast majority of the real game is accumulating all of that leverage beforehand. Things like building the previously alluded to weapons, or convincing your friends to also build a bunch of weapons. What happens at an actual summit is just the public-facing finishing touches. Actually, the stock footage from the NATO Hague Summit serves a dual purpose here. It both boosted Western bargaining power and is an example of how a summit itself did not directly do much. The real work happened behind the scenes, and then everyone hopes that no one fumbles the football as they are about to punch it into the end zone. As another disclaimer, there were a couple of reasons to suspect that not much would happen entering today's summit. Yes, sorry, Team Nothing Ever Happens is at the top of the standings again this season. The summit came together in about a week, but as I just said, the real work for a summit takes place well before the start of the summit. 7 days is not enough to do that. Instead, it is an attempt to speedrun an end to the war. How might you go about doing that? Someone with a bad sense of causation might note that wars tend to end after a negotiation. So why not just skip to that part? Well, that is what we are getting here. But again, that skips the real work that goes into a summit. Some of that is diplomacy by lower-tier government officials, but a lot of it is communicating resolve and destroying capacity on the battlefield, which apparently there has not been enough of. The second reason to suspect that not much would happen was because Ukraine was not there. Keep this in mind for later. If you are fighting a war, then you get a veto in ending the war. It turns out that you can always just say, "No thanks, I prefer to continue to fight," and the war goes on. And thus, without Ukraine at the table, the United States and Russia could not make much progress in ending the war in Ukraine. Sure enough, the absurdities began as Russia traveled to the summit site, Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Alaska. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrived wearing a sweatshirt bearing the letters CCCP, the Russian abbreviation for the USSR, and a country that did not exist when about half of my audience was born. Then came the news that the contingency of Russian reporters traveling to Alaska ate chicken Kyiv for dinner. Get it? Because Ukraine is on the menu. How hilarious and very clever. The real action, if we can call it that, began when Air Force One and the Russian equivalent landed and parked at the base. Then, continuing with the food theme, the two presidents seemingly played a game of chicken on who would be the first to step down. Seriously, why is it always chicken on this channel? Anyway, Trump emerged, and the media coverage essentially wrote itself. Red carpet. Trump clapping as Putin walked toward him. A handshake. Smiles. And yeah, I get that watching these sorts of images, if you are sitting in Kyiv right now, is not exactly a fun time. But goodness, this was over-reported in the media. Of course, I understand why this happens. It is a visual, and humans are visual creatures. It is easy to put this on a screen and explain why it is a bad thing that the President of the United States is shaking hands with someone that the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant against. It is much harder to explain how drone and counter-drone and counter-counter-drone interactions work, so the handshake analysis goes on for 2 hours. However, let this be your friendly reminder that what ultimately matters is what happens on the battlefield. Handshakes are a drop in the bucket compared to massive shipments of 155mm artillery shells that could overrun Russian positions, or endless ammunition for HIMARS that will decimate Russia's logistics. Maybe, Russian media playing this on loop will influence public opinion inside of Russia. Putin has been normalized back into part of the Western diplomatic sphere. He must be doing something right. But I would not overinterpret the utility here when the Russian media has a dozen other positive messages it could substitute into its nightly broadcasts. The real threat to the Kremlin arises when Russian citizens no longer can afford day-to-day basics. Your average Alexander cannot replace 3 square meals with a handshake, and thus what we really should be focusing on for later are the economic prospects coming out of this meeting. Then, just before they got to the stage for a photo op, wait, what's that in the air? Why, it's a B-2 bomber. The same design that recently dropped gigantic bombs over Iran's nuclear facilities. A bit of a silly flex that ultimately means nothing, though it probably briefly distracted everyone in the Russian military contingency, as they wondered whether there was anything useful to learn by seeing the flyover in person. Post-photo op, they moved into Trump's limousine. This itself was interesting. The White House originally planned to have a one-on-one meeting between Trump and Putin. Then, on the flight over, the U.S. press learned that this was no longer on the agenda. The limo ride therefore reinserted a few one-on-one minutes into the trip. However, the real summit began in a restricted 3-on-3 format. This involved Putin, Lavrov, and Foreign Policy Advisor Yuri Ushakov on one side, and Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Special Envoy to Russia Steve Witkoff on the other. Undoubtedly, Europeans breathed a sigh of relief when they learned that the one-on-one meeting would be replaced with a conversation that included Rubio. Rubio is the highest-ranked traditional Republican within the White House. He is a hawk on Russia and wants to strengthen Europe. Contrast Trump's warm welcome of Putin on the red carpet to this photo of Rubio during one of the preliminary negotiations with Russia back in February. Well, he may have had a lot to say. They spent hours in that room talking. What was supposed to happen next is that the six would shift into an expanded format over lunch. Whereas the first bit seemed more focused on world affairs, and thus the war in Ukraine. That expanded meeting appeared to be more geared toward economic cooperation. Indeed, economic advisors were invited to Putin's meeting preparation seen here, and they were also on the schedule for the expanded format. That did not happen. They skipped straight to the press conference. Putin spent the first 18 minutes saying a lot of flowery things that ultimately had nothing of substance. Quote, "I agree with Trump that the security of Ukraine must be secured. And, of course, we are ready to work on that." End quote. I am sure that he thinks that. I am also sure that his interpretation of that is very different than someone who lives in Europe. Then it was Trump's turn to talk. "There is no deal until there is a deal," he said, basically informing us that there was no real progress on negotiating an end to the war. Perhaps a positive spin on a failure to make progress. Trump said that he would speak to Zelensky and NATO partners next to fill them in on some of the details. There were no more specifics beyond that, and I would bet that we will not get much more in the way of details until some leaks start dripping out of the White House or Europe. That ended the press conference, which I am now having to use air quotes to describe, because there were no questions from the media. You can imagine how much fun that could have been with American reporters asking Putin something about what is happening in Ukraine. To get down to brass tacks, no ceasefire, no additional sanctions, primary or secondary, no additional arms to Ukraine, no firm plans for a next summit, though Putin's last words at the press conference, spoken in English, were an off-the-cuff invitation for a summit to Moscow. You know, as I was typing the script there, I wrote "dummit" instead of "summit," and maybe we should just stick with that from now on. The lack of a meeting among the economic advisors is telling, though. Reinitiating the trade relationship, never mind trying to expand on it, needs a peace deal to precede it. The long 3-on-3 meeting would suggest that the Kremlin is far away from reaching a deal, which makes a meeting among economic advisors irrelevant. At some point, this is going to change, though, and we should have a conversation about what that would look like whenever the next dummit is. To do that, we need to start with the central problem of negotiating a settlement while one party has the initiative. Yes, this is going to be the Munich 2.0 conversation, except I am not going to treat this as some massive and penetrating insight, as many of the articles you might read like to make it out to be. No, this is pretty straightforward. It is the domino problem that I keep talking about. But we need this as the basis of some more interesting insights for later. Thus, I'm going to do this as fast as I can, so much so that I am putting up a clock. Okay, go. Imagine that this is the front line at the start of the next dummit. As far as we can tell, if nothing changes, Russia will keep on advancing. Let's say maybe to here before its offensive peters out. Russia views this as an imperialist-style war, so it is best that we adopt that thinking for a moment. The Kremlin therefore would require something close to the expectation to be willing to reach a settlement. Maybe this space between the white and red lines represents its costs. The trouble is that if you move the front line to match Russia's minimally acceptable endpoint, then the expected outcome of the war also moves, because Russia has just run straight through all of Ukraine's defensive lines. Thus, a new minimum for the Kremlin forms. See? Dominoes. And done in under a minute. Not bad. As I said, most observers at this point understand the domino dynamics, but there is a disconnect between that and an implication for a ceasefire. So let's now shift to discussing how to freeze the front. Indeed, the position of Ukraine, Europe, and even the United States from time to time is to take the front line, wherever it may be at the time of the announcement, and lock that into place. However, this creates another problem that consistent viewers of this channel are also familiar with. So let's put up another clock and get through this part fast as well. Freezing the front is really bad from the Kremlin's perspective. Not only is the ceasefire line nowhere close to its net gains from continuing the offensive, Ukraine is not stupid and will spend its time during the ceasefire building entrenchments. In turn, what Russia would expect to get from restarting a war will decrease. Right around the 20-second mark this time. Very nice. While few in the West will lose any sleep over Russia receiving a worse outcome, there is just one problem here. Remember that thing I told you to remember for later? Anyone fighting in a war gets a veto on a ceasefire. Here, that means Russia. I mean, the word ceasefire gives that away. It is not a ceasefire if one side ceases to fire, while the other side continues to fire. Consequently, if you want a ceasefire to work, you have to convince Russia to go along with it. And the trouble with instituting a ceasefire at the current line of control is that it is artificial. It does not match what the expected outcome of continued fighting is. In turn, you have to do something to get Russia to accept the proposal. Simply asking nicely will not work. Well, asking nicely has been the bulk of the Trump administration's strategy so far, and it seems that the Alaska dummit is not about to change things there, nor is Russia's behavior about to change. So if you want to move Russia's bargaining position, broadly, there are three common strategies available. One is to flood the other side with armaments, and continue to do so until the belligerent party agrees to stop. Trump has been stringing everyone along on this front for almost half of a year now, and there do not seem to be signs that that is changing. The onus is therefore on Europe to spend more to give Ukraine more options, with some portion of that still going to the United States to buy specialized equipment. I guess there was some movement on the White House's part with that. It is not a game changer, but it is notable. The second strategy is economic warfare. That seems to be where the Trump administration is leaning, with secondary sanctions on India to go in effect on August 27th. But that is a drop in the bucket, even as there are more reports of some Indian importers getting nervous and shifting their contracts elsewhere. It is hard to imagine that sticking with the advertised 25% tariff rate as a punishment for India importing Russian oil will lead to a long-term departure from its below-rate energy imports. The final option is what is called a peace subsidy, which is essentially giving economic inducements to a party, conditional on that party ending the war. The Camp David Accords under Jimmy Carter is the classic example of this in action. Entering the summit, it appeared that the Trump administration was leaning this way, hence that scheduled meeting among economic advisors. Watch for this to resurface again at the next Dummit. That said, the obvious problem with economic inducements is that they will strengthen the recipient over the long term. The other strategies do not have that effect. Consequently, this will put greater strain on the discussions of the enforceability of an agreement. Nevertheless, the Trump administration seems to be leaning this way because it is the cheaper option. Increased trade may not even be costly to the United States. It might be profitable. And the Trump administration does not care much if it is to the detriment of European security. Meanwhile, to the detriment of whatever you are currently reading, why not pick up one of these awesome books about the war? Check the video description for more information about them. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care. No time to waste today. Russia is making headlines by aggressively pushing along the Eastern Front. With a summit between Putin and Trump just around the corner in Alaska, the obvious question to ask is whether the offensive and the summit are connected. But the thing is, if they are, then the price that the Kremlin has paid is way higher than it may seem. So, today, let me catch you up on Russia's broader strategy in the East, the breakthrough, or breakthrough, that is happening there, some comments about the evolution in Ukraine's defensive line strategy over the last couple of years or so, and how to interpret the events that we are seeing, because it turns out that what we cannot observe is just as important as what we can, and the analysis that I am seeing about the breakthrough only tends to focus on what appears on a map. But let's begin with the Eastern Front. We are going to focus on two cities today. One is Pokrovsk, and the other is Chasiv Yar, which you may remember as the city just after Bakhmut. Pokrovsk is likely what you have heard about in the news over the last year. That is because it has been the key target of Russia's offensive in the region, which began in July 2024. Ukraine evacuated civilians from the city the next month, seeming to suggest that Ukrainian soldiers would also have to quickly fall back. But here we are a full year later, and Ukraine still controls the city, at least for now. It is abandoned and functionally destroyed, of course, but the fact that Ukrainian troops are still there gives you a sense of Russia's pace on this offensive. Why so slow? Well, it seems that Russia learned its lesson from the Battle of Bakhmut, the siege that occupied headlines prior to Pokrovsk. That resulted in an incredible number of Russian casualties, and, eventually, a mutiny that briefly pushed toward Moscow. It is the joy of urban combat. Plenty of places for defenders to hide, tight corridors as the invaders press forward, and plenty of snipers' nests to be concerned about. Russia has therefore chosen to go around both Pokrovsk's western and eastern flanks. The theory goes that if you can fully surround the city, Ukrainian defenders would eventually have to give up. Or, perhaps more likely, as Russian soldiers get close to enveloping the city, Ukraine will just withdraw to avoid further losses. Of course, this is not the only part of the front line. Russia has also exerted pressure to the northeast. Up here is the legacy of the Bakhmut campaign, as Russia pushes uphill toward Chasiv Yar. To be clear, its pace is even slower than what has been happening in Pokrovsk, but it will still be relevant in a moment. Now we can discuss the developments over the last week. Here is what the front looked like only a couple of days ago, and this is what it looks like now. To give you a sense of the scale, Russia's gains over the last 6 months range from about 250 square kilometers to 600. Over this time, Ukraine has been playing a game of trading land for Russian casualties, with the hope that eventually the Kremlin will struggle to hit its recruitment targets. At that point, Putin would have to terminate the offensive by default, sparing Ukraine from further losses. However, just this one push over the course of a couple of days has transferred 110 square kilometers. By all accounts, the underlying problem is a shortage of Ukrainian soldiers. When frontline positions only have so many humans defending them, eventually Russia will find a gap to exploit. This is not a situation where the front lines are fully staffed. There will always be holes, and the question is whether Russia can find them. Indeed, this happens on a daily basis, which is how Russia has been gaining ground over the course of the whole offensive. What makes this particular situation special, though, is that it went much further than normal. And if you are wondering why Ukraine does not simply exploit the salient that Russia has created by flanking the new Russian positions, which seem to be vulnerable, I mean, look, you just collapse on the location here. Well, it is the same story. That would require more Ukrainian soldiers, and Kyiv does not have more Ukrainian soldiers to spare. An important caveat: this assumes that Russia has ample forces here at all. Hold that thought for a minute. It gets worse for Ukraine, though. Remember Russia's strategy to envelop Pokrovsk? Well, this sudden push could facilitate that much more rapidly than previously expected. Simply turn left and you are cutting off an even greater patch of land. Failing to do that, though, Russia could opt for a more ambitious plan. Turn right instead, and there is a larger pocket that Russia could exploit, which connects all the way over to Bakhmut. Either way, this would be very bad news for Ukraine. But let's talk about the outlook here, based on recent evolutions in defensive strategy. Ukraine is urging caution about rushing to judgment regarding what exactly this salient is. Now, we should all take that with a grain of salt, just as we would with any other statement like this from a leader. That said, the standard way that Russia pushes forward is with a handful of men taking a position, harassing any Ukrainians who come into the area, and then sustaining that position by receiving resupply via drones. If the mission is successful, only then do reinforcements enter the salient, at which point is when the front line meaningfully moves. So maybe the movement is an isolated case like I described, and the thing may eventually resolve itself favorably for Ukraine, or at least not that unfavorably, as the Russian troops have overextended themselves. It is worth noting here that days have passed at this point, and we have not seen much happen along the salient. That is a good sign for Ukraine. However, the flip side puts Ukraine in more trouble than I had previously suggested. It is not just about collapsing pockets. It is also that Ukraine's key defensive line is about here, which means that Russia is very close to getting behind it. This creates the always concerning domino problem, where one loss leads to yet more losses, because nothing is there to protect Ukrainian forces. Think of it as the Kharkiv counteroffensive from 2022, but in reverse. It is the same reason why Ukraine will not be conceding land past its defensive lines as a part of some sort of negotiated settlement. Doing so voluntarily creates the domino problem. Brief aside, way too much ink is being spilled about how it is imperative that Ukraine must not do this. Okay, yeah, that is true. Don't get me wrong. But it is also a fairly trivial point for those involved in the decision. Ukraine, backed by Europe, has complete agency to reject such proposals. This is not Ukraine's moment of
Who just joined? Hello.
Hey.
Do not look what I put in the group chat.
The fuck? The fuck?
But you can't tell me it's not funny though.
I'm just eating right now, just so you know. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm eating.
What are you eating?
I just told you I wasn't gonna tell you.
Oh, I just farted again.
You shouldn't have said that though.
Imagine
Stop
Aiden
being
just
on.
leaves the group because you keep calling him.
Imagine.
I mean, I'm just saying because I certainly don't want to make him angry. Do y'all? If not,
Wow, where
if
did you get
not,
that?
then please stop fucking calling him.
Okay, hang on.
Because that's only gonna make him frustrated with y'all. This whole argument, a whole argument start, and then I have to be the one mediating. I'm not trying to do that shit. Just to tell you. Don't do a crime. Oh no. If you do the crime, you do the time. If you do the crime, you do the time. Motherfucking bitch. Stop. Alex, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Don't worry, I'm never gonna leave. I just really don't talk much. So wow.
Alright, so I usually don't make this kind of video, but Roblox has just taken it way too far this time, so I feel like I kind of have to.
Mindy,
If you live
look
under a
at-
rock
look
and
at the
somehow haven't
juicy.
heard,
Look what I put with the two pictures. I said me after a date with the boys.
Schlep, the dude who catches predators on Roblox, was just permanently banned and sent a cease and desist letter by David Baszucki
I love
himself.
Lily. She's so cute.
So this is the letter Roblox sent him, and feel free to pause and read all of it.
Yes,
But to
they're doing
sum
that.
it up, they pretty much just told him that they don't want vigilante groups on the platform to moderate for them, and they said Schlep should have used the right channels to report the predators. It seems like they're complaining about how Schlep took matters into his own hand to take down the predators instead of leaving it to Roblox's horrible moderation and telling them everything.
Instead of leaving it to Roblox's horrible moderation.
Which is kind of stupid, because Schlep did send all the messages, files, and all the images of, like, proof, and the files by the cops and stuff. He sent it all to the Roblox moderation. And a fun fact is that they usually took up to, like, 30 days, an entire month, to even ban the predators off the platform, when they were already in jail, well in jail. I mean, this has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. If you guys want, you can support Schlep by signing the petition to make David Baszucki step down from his position on change.org. And you can also do what me and many others are doing by changing your display name to Free Schlep. Also, for more details, you guys can go watch the thousands of other videos made by other YouTubers about the same topic. Some of them are like a lot higher quality than mine and go way more into detail. I'm just summing it up for you guys. Not to get off topic, but if you made it to this part of the video, which most people actually don't, I just want you guys to know that I spent a long time making this, and just by pressing a few buttons down there, you could help me a ton and boost my video in the algorithm for more to see and spread awareness. But let's just get back on track now. So the thing with Schlep is already crazy, but Roblox recently responded in more detail about this, and this has got to be one of the stupidest responses I've ever seen. Now unfortunately I couldn't find the picture that shows their response for some reason. I looked everywhere on the internet and I couldn't find one photo, but from what I remember, they were pretty much telling him that Roblox vigilante groups that like clean Roblox and get rid of the predators, they say that they're doing it just for clicks and they shouldn't do that because that's the wrong motive. Now you probably may be thinking, well, this is a good reason, right? It keeps people that are just doing it for money and like staging it off the platform so they don't do this. Until you realize that Schlep himself has openly stated that he was groomed in Roblox, and the reason why he made this channel and did all this is because he wanted to prevent other children from experiencing the same thing as him. I mean, this is insane. Not only that, but all the free Schlep shirts have been banned, and Roblox is just trying to silence us and let us forget about it. They think it's gonna work, but there's millions of people on the platform, and not all million of people are gonna forget about this. It's just too much. Guys, I just got some crazy news midway through making the video. First, Creekcraft and Schlep are teaming up with an official United States congressman to pressure Roblox about their moderation
$100 Roblox gift card.
and safety issues. I mean, this is insane. I also heard that Roblox responded again To sum it up, they pretty much just accused Slep of being a predator, which couldn't be farther from the truth. They were saying that using the decoys to pretend that they were children is very predatory, even though the decoys were used to catch the predators. Not only that, but the chief safety officer at Roblox released a blog post called "More on Our Removal of Vigilantes from Roblox." I mean, all of this stuff happening in just 24 hours is actually insane. Alright, well, back to the main part of the video now. I mean, David messed up a ton this time. He was an inspiration to a ton of kids, including me, back in the day. Many people have also theorized that David was closely associated with Epstein, and that he supports pedophiles. It might be true because he has gone to many huge business meetings with political figures for some reason. I mean, how does the founder of a kids game get into a political meeting? He had to have some sort of connections with this guy right here. I honestly think that Roblox is doing all this just for money, because investors for Roblox would see these Slep videos and decide not to invest because they see all the problems that Roblox has with their moderation. Now, maybe Slep wouldn't have to make these videos if Roblox just took the time to spend more money, the billions they have, if they just spent maybe a couple thousand on moderation rather than garbage events that we never asked for. Like, seriously, what is this, bro?
Wrong. Oh, yes! Yes, Queen! Hit that jig! Look at him! Look at him go! Oh, you can't talk in this game. That's probably, it's probably a good idea. Yes! Dude, he's really going off right now. He's literally so nervous.
Yeah, that minute. Actually, I had a Discord.
Whoa!
What you been doing,
Yes!
Benderoony?
Please break, please break, please break. Like, we can throw snowballs at him. Let's crack this thing wide open. Oh my god! This is the best day of my life! Look! Stop! You scared me, Lil Nas X.
Yeah, so unfortunately that's the average Roblox event, but honestly it was pretty hilarious, so I'll let that one slide. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that the guy who pretty much runs the moderation team, but he sold over $800,000 worth of stock right before Slep got banned, which is pretty suspicious. Now, a ton of creators are leaving the Star program, and people like me are canceling their premium subscriptions to protest. But pretty much all this just ruined Roblox's reputation in a night. And I say we should all just release the Epstein list at this point and find out if David is on there, which he might be. I mean, there's a really high chance at this point. There's a ton of evidence. He's very closely related to Epstein. This has literally become such big news that my mom found the Slep video on Facebook Reels and showed it to me. I mean, I don't know how they got to this so fast, but other huge YouTubers like Moist Critical are making videos on this, and they almost never make videos about Roblox. That just goes to show how huge of a deal this is. Now, this word vigilante that me and Roblox keep using is actually proving our point about how bad moderation there is. A vigilante group happens when the rules of a system aren't working, so they take matters into their own hands and enforce the rules. If Roblox just put a little bit more effort into their moderation, people like Slep wouldn't have to do what they would do, and all these pedo games, XYZ, Condo, you know what I'm talking about, would be deleted. I mean, it's disgusting. The things I've seen bypassed in those games, they're horrible. That's probably the best summary I could give of everything for you guys. So, if you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. I spent a lot of time on this.
What's wrong,
Maybe you
Benderoony?
can watch the other videos or the video Slep himself made. But that's just all I have to say, so bye guys.
Bendy, your shit's glitching out. Your
I have my earbuds in.
oh, okay. Well. Buddy.
you what to do. Alex, you still there, buddy?
Yeah. I was reading something. I'm sorry I don't talk a lot. When I don't talk a lot, that normally means I'm quiet. I normally talk a lot when I'm in person, though. All is well.
I have a song that would fit you and Autumn the best. Honestly.
I swear, if it's something talking about me dying, I'm gonna flip.
No, it isn't. It isn't. This one's actually from Dominium. That music artist. Or Dominum, however you say their name.
Okay.
Ooh, here's a song I haven't heard before. One of Us.
By who?
Dominium. Or
Oh.
Dominum, however you say their name. I don't fucking know. But this one's called Don't Get Bitten by the Wrong Ones. And yes, I am screen sharing.
I'm walking through the night. I'm talking to myself.
Tell me when you start it.
I'm paralyzed by fear.
Starting.
I'm walking through the night.
Okay.
I'm paralyzed by fear. I'm worried about my
Okay.
The cage is open wide. The damage has been done.
Okay. Fire.
And now I can't trust anyone. I hear a noise. Is it human? Is it scum? Don't get bitten by the wrong.
Damn, that sounds pretty fire, my guy. Okay.
Just don't get bitten by the wrong ones. This one's We Are Forlorn.
Another fool stuck his head in the sand, and now he's gasping for air. This fool did all the things they told him to do, found himself someone who cared. We are forlorn. And it feels, yeah, it feels like a war. Your demons taking control of me. And it feels, yeah, it feels like they won. Damnation is my new place to be.
Hey, Bindi, are you on your computer yet?
I am at my computer. Dimwit.
Okay, now, I didn't know, okay? Nobody told me anything. Join me on Roblox real quick.
I'm gonna have this song playing right here. We Are Forlorn.
Okay.
By Dominium.
Okay.
Or Dominum, whatever.
Okay, join me.
Someone to share your life the rest of your days. That's so tempting to you. The downward movement has already begun. That kiss officially up.
Supposedly there is some sort of ERLC update happening today.
In the film.
Having to zoom in so that way I can control this sort of easier.
Click through that. I want you to come to this portal, but then just press the arrow on the side or exit out of that. I don't know, I'm just trying to see if you need to get stuff. The same thing over here.
Don't really see any arrows.
Then just walk away. Yeah. Gone.
I don't see arrows on any of these. Just so you know.
It's probably different for computer players. Exit. Read the game. I want to see something. So share your screen if you can. Oh wait, you're.
That one's just on the video. This screen share.
Oh. Oh.
What? Have you not been watching the entire time?
When I over there left the thing, I thought it wasn't like connected to one thing. I thought it was connected to the Roblox and everything else too. Sorry, my bad.
But yeah, this song, this song would work best between your girlfriend and you. I think.
Can we wait?
Hold
Send me the music.
Let me pause this and share my entire screen so that way you can see my Roblox as well.
Okay. All I need to do. Yeah, leave the game. Go to your person thing where you can create your avatar. Go to customize. I need to figure out how to do this. Okay. Classic shirts. Classic pants. See, now you have all 4 outfits. Easy, 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 easy. I'm a boy.
The item alert.
You got bitten by the wrong one.
The dead don't die.
You don't have to be.
Hush, little baby, don't be sad.
This is the tale of the living dead.
I'm gonna
Make it a lullaby. Please don't scare, no, the dead don't die. Free!
That's what I'm doing because I didn't know. I have to wait. He complete the obby for this one. Stay on there. I'll be right back in just a second. Well, I'm still gonna come back to the main. Okay. You know what I mean. So, here's the Eve.
Hush, little baby, don't be sad. This is the tale of the living dead. I'm gonna make it a lullaby. Don't be scared, no, the dead don't die.
Oh, you are. You are. No. God. Hey buddy, what you want, buddy? Here. What you doing, Bendy? Bendy, where? Oh, I'm talking right now, trying to get Pokemon for my own time. I'm sure you want to do for yeah. We have beams on the sheet.
Come take a look at the menu. Don't be scared, let me explain. Flesh and blood, body parts, all shapes and sizes. Lastly, we all taste the same. Do you prefer certain flavors? Too much thought would be in vain. This is a randomly average selection. Who knew? taste the same. Who knew we all taste the same?
Yes, sir. I got some look forward. Sorry, man. You bug. Need 3. Yeah. What up? And that's all.
If I had only one wish,